Good morning. Beautiful, beautiful morning it is again. We must realize when it is time to leave a relationship. We live in a society that celebrates people who are always staying together and who make it work. And that's beautiful in some sense and very, very destructive in another sense. You see, our soul doesn't care about relationship contracts or marriages. Our soul wants to grow, and it wants to grow in love. And every relationship that we have has a specific impulse, a specific lesson for us to grow in that love. And there is also an expiration date sometimes where we simply cannot grow anymore with that specific person because we shift in frequencies. You see, when we meet a person in the beginning, we have a certain frequency and that attracts that person. But then as we grow and evolve through love, we change the frequency to our core frequency, to who we really are. And if the other person is doing the same, but the frequency stopped to match, it can be very destructive to stay connected with that person because we can simply not become more of who we are. And that is the best thing. Sometimes people ask, when do I know that I should leave a relationship? Or when do I know it's the right relationship? Well, it is the right relationship when you feel that in the relationship you're becoming more of who you are. That's when you should stay. When you are becoming more and more of who you are. That is when the relationship has a great service to you, when it really serves you to go deeper, to expand love, to grow, and you feel like I'm becoming more of my creative, enthusiastic, passionate self. I also need to go through struggles sometimes in the relationship, but every struggle and trouble brings me, reveals another part of my inner freedom, of my inner expansion. That's when you know you're in the right relationship. But however, it can happen many times that, as I said, as you grow, you feel that you are within that relationship. You are in some kind of stagnation. You're no more becoming who you truly are. You feel like an essential part of your freedom is being taken. That can be through extreme jealousy from the other person, or if they make their happiness dependent on you, for example, and you have maybe outgrown that part, that attachment. You might be somebody who learned to also be alone, who learned to detach, who learned to take care of their own happiness. And if the other person is not on that same page, if the other person still uses you for their happiness and you still please them, you lose your freedom. And in that, you are not growing anymore into the person who you really are, which is a very free, unattached, wild, spontaneous being. You understand? So when that happens, that means that in these points, when one person is no more willing to grow with you and expand and reach the depth of love, it is time to move on. And it is time to move on gently. You understand? This is not about I break up with you now and you're gone. This is a gentle, slow process of tuning more into your authenticity, into your freedom, into your state of being. And that will take care slowly of you both going apart in love, because you choose your flow of life. You're very connected with your inner being, with where you are heading. You're choosing the way of bliss. You're going more into what feels good to you. And in that, the split naturally happens. If the other person starts to align, then great. Then you might be able to, take that journey on together. But if it doesn't happen, it will split. And it's very, very sad if you are just staying together because you are, imagining that the relationship was so good, or you are following that illusion that the person is this great person and you should never leave them, or You have these future plans that you're chasing, and that is all up here. That has nothing to do with your heart. That is when you chase the images inside of your head, inside of your mind. And if that is all that keeps you connected, that can be very painful, because your soul has already moved on. Your soul is already into freer realms, while your head, mind is stuck in concepts, in theories. I should stay with them, it's right to marry, it's right to stay, I cannot just leave. And then guilt and shame keeps you in that relationship. And in the vibration of guilt and shame, you are actually still connecting with that person. But the moment you become your true authentic self, which is free, which is bold, which is courageous, then you're no longer there. And you intuitively know that split within yourself. And that creates a lot of tension, you see. So what you need to work on is more on your guilt and shame. You know, what makes you believe that you should stay there? What makes you believe that you have to stay in that relationship, which is probably not meant anymore, because you need to always put your soul evolution on first place. The evolution of your soul, the growth of your soul, this needs to be in first position. You need to be selfish enough to always put yourself first, your bliss, your journey. You know, you come here alone and you will go alone. And that's really, really crucial. And in that, you never know how many relationships you're gonna need, how many relationships will be right for your own evolution. I believe that, you know, relationships that last long, they have a greater potential to really reach the depth of love, to reach the depth of freedom as well. But it needs to be the right relationship. You know, you need to be on your path. You need to be aligned with yourself. The other person needs to be aligned there. You cannot make each other the center of your happiness. You cannot use the other for your happiness. You need to be alone, and you need to feel blissful alone. You need to find your alignment when you are all alone. The other person needs to do the same. And then you devote yourselves to the energy of love that is in the middle. You don't devote yourself to the person per se. You don't say, I commit to that person. You say, I commit to the energy of love. We are both partners. We both partners are having a garden, okay? That's her, that's you. And in the middle is a garden of love. And you are both nurturing that. You're both having a look, where is the flow of love growing? You're both very sensitive to the energy of love, and you make that grow, you see. That is the commitment you make, and that is a relationship that can last long, because the longer you take care of that garden, the more wonderful flowers will blossom, and vegetables and all of those things. The longer you take care, the more beautiful it will get. So I am celebrating long-lasting relationships, but they need to be in the right frequency. They need to be in the right alignment. They need to have the right mindset of what it is about. It cannot be a relationship that is based on attachment. I need you, I need you. That sounds so nice. I need you. But that's not good. It's not good when you need somebody else. I desire you, yeah. I love you, I feel extremely attracted, yes. But needing, no. And that's a very, very different relationship when you are not in an attachment anymore, you see. When it's not based on a trauma attachment. And how can you say you're not in that? How do you know if you're in attachment or not? Well, could you let them go? Could you easily say, okay, I would be sad not having them in my life, but I can let them go. I know I'm totally fine even if they move away. Can I be fine with that? And if you're not playing games, if you're not trying to hold on so dear and manipulating and lying in order to keep them, if you can say, I love you so much, I want that you are happy, I want you to be happy, and if that means you're leaving for another man or another woman, I want you to support you in that process. I want you to leave then. That is when you feel there is not the toxic attachment, but there is love attachment. There is an attachment that is based on love and on desire to be with that person. That can still hurt though, you know, it's not like I don't care at all, you know, I have a total indifference to it. No, that's not what it means. You still do care, but it's not an attachment. It doesn't feel like it's destroying you, you know. And in that, freedom is growing, you know, because then you see both partners as an absolute individual. An individual who is growing on their own journey, and as I said, through love, through your both's love, you help each other become more of an individual. And I want to touch there on the last really important part. When do you realize it's time to leave? If you're not sure, create space between you. Have a look who you are as an individual first. Space can be meaning through traveling alone, or moving out for some time, or having this, you know, hours or minutes in the day where you go consciously into solitude away from the person. Or create your own friend circle, your own hobbies, become an individual again. It is so important in relationships to remain an individual, you know, not doing everything all the time together. And if you reach that, then it becomes pretty clear where your path is going, when you start thinking again for yourself. And it can help with physically moving away, as I just said, or mostly what's more important is that it's an inner focus where you fully detach from the world. You detach from outcomes, from the world, how they see you, from validation. You detach from Instagram, even checking likes and stuff. You detach from your partner, what they think about you. You're not looking for your partner to feel loved and stuff. You really detach. You go into some kind of, it's not a depression, but it's like bringing the energy fully to yourself, okay? And you kind of isolate yourself for a time. And then in that, you're gonna really strongly feel what is actually coming out of me if I don't need the world anymore, if there is nothing anymore that is needed from the outside. And then you become crystal clear who you are. And once you become more and more clear and in tune with who you are, the relationship will take care of itself. Either you stay together, either you move away. It will become very, very clear, you see. And then there's not even a breakup needed. You're just in your flow and the split will happen naturally. Who you are is always the energy of excitement and bliss. Follow bliss and excitement in each moment. Follow the thought that feels best. If you do that in every moment, it will take care of it. Every time you feel like, oh no, I should shoot this text message out of fear to keep them, or out of attachment, or, you know, when you're in a fight and you feel the fight doesn't feel good, move away into things that excite you. Don't go for the attachment. Don't go for the text message that is based on attachment and fear. If what your bliss is actually telling you is take that vacation, take that journey, or write them a nice letter, write them something loving, write them something that is freeing them. Go always in that energy, and when you're in that energy moving, you become free and everything will be taken care of. So follow your excitement in every moment. The best feeling thought. Do not worry too much about the relationship. Where is it going? Should I break up? Should I stay? Should I break up? Should I stay? This is a bad place to be in. Life and your alignment with your inner being, with your soul, will take care of your relationships, your money, everything. Just make sure you're aligned. Follow the best feeling thought, the best feeling. Just go and do what is really blissful to you, moment to moment. It will take care of all of your relationships, I promise. If that helped, as always, let me know in the comments, like the video. I just started this channel, but I would love to grow a community in it because I really love to do it. And I see you in the next video. Now my coffee is kind of cold though. Still great life. Oh yeah.